This is required watching. This is required watching. We watch the essential films from a list of cinematic influencers and look at them through the lens of learning about filmmaking and how to move forward. I'm your host, Trey Epps, and we're continuing with looking at the Roald Dahl short films directed by, short films? Wes Anderson's 4 new Netflix short films based on Roald Dahl short stories. And I wanted to start with this. Roald Dahl has had a lot of controversy, and it's due to his anti-Semitic comments in interviews and racial insensitivity in his works, like portraying Oompa Loompas as African pygmies, and some also criticize that his books have, or at least have a little bit of sexist and insensitive tendencies. And despite this, his books remain popular. But educators often address these issues when teaching their works, the same way I think Wes Anderson addresses some of these issues even in the short films. But I wanted to, one, acknowledge that, shitty people do, I'll take it back. Brilliant people sometimes are flawed. And I think we recognize the work of Roald Dahl, but it's also, I think it's also right to recognize that he's been insensitive and outright racist or sexist, and this is mainly about talking about Wes Anderson and what he's done with these works and how he's adapted these works. So there's zero intention on my part to offend anyone, but I also think it's important to bring it up, especially to talk about one of my favorites, Roald Dahl short stories. And we'll dive right in, because this story is about a rich man who learns about a guru who can see without using his eyes and then sets out to master the skill to cheat at gambling. This short film is starring Ralph Fiennes, Benedict Cumberbatch, Dev Patel, Ben Kingsley, and Richard Ayoade. This is the wonderful story of Henry Sugar. The story, again, revolves around Henry Sugar, a wealthy and self-absorbed man who leads a rather aimless and hedonistic life. One day, Henry comes across a scientific article about a yogi who claims to have developed the ability to see without using his eyes. This piques Henry's curiosity, and he becomes obsessed with learning the yogi's secret. Henry's pursuit of this knowledge leads him to an eccentric teacher who introduces him to the world of meditation and the power of concentration. Over time, Henry begins to develop the ability to see through objects, initially using his newfound skill to personally gain, such as winning at casinos. However, as Henry's abilities progress, he realizes the importance of using them for more noble and selfless purposes. He decides to use his powers to help others, including children with vision problems. The story ultimately explores themes of personal transformation and the responsibility that comes with unique talents, and the potential for individuals to change their lives for the better. The wonderful story of Henry Sugar is a thought-provoking tale that highlights the potential for personal growth and the altruism even in the most self-centered individuals. It's one of my favorite films. I have to tell you. In no small part for the cast. The cast do a brilliant job of playing multiple parts and playing characters who go through many ups and downs of this entire series. And Benedict Cumberbatch does a really great job as someone who has to convey being multifaceted in such a short period of time. The way the short film presents Henry Sugar is less of a jerk, less of someone who's completely self-obsessed, and maybe that's in part due to Benedict Cumberbatch's charm, but is more someone who's on the wrong road and has corrected himself, which I'm okay with. I'm okay with that change. But yeah, I really loved the journey of this. I think the thing I took away most from this film is how much I think I love the fact that Wes Anderson is playing. It feels like he's playing. It feels like he's having fun. This isn't the first of Roald Dahl's adaptations, and I'm pretty sure there's an interview. If not, someone should ask him why he keeps adapting his work. But with this specifically, I think what's really fun is that it feels like it plays with a few genres all at once. I mean, there's elements of almost like a thrillery, dreamlike inception situation happening where we're going within 2 or 3 stories and meeting a couple of narrators in order to then pull out and get like the full context of the main thread of the story, which I think is a brilliant, brilliant, brilliant move that I can't recall if the short story does this. And it really, I think as a director, excites me to see him again, to see him playing, to see him doing something different other than like the Wes Anderson look, which it's all very, very signature Wes Anderson. But I think what I found fun again is that it just felt like little shifts, like subtle shifts in genre that I was gonna say allowed me to see growth, but like I'm not even sure if you can quantify that. I think he's an excellent filmmaker and then someone who does a really great job of translating his thoughts or even other people's thoughts onto the screen with the help of a team, of course. But I want to talk about why directors make short films or why they go back to making short films. There's a lot of success stories about directors who have come from shorts. Some you've heard of, some you haven't, but then, land into the route of Hollywood filmmaking, doing these bigger budget films. But I think rarely has there been such a publicized event such as a Hollywood director that now making a short film. And I know most recently, I can't remember who it was. Most recently, there was someone who went on and on about their short film, but I think it's rare that we see it. And I think Hollywood directors may choose to return to making short films for a variety of reasons. And I think mainly because it offers a unique canvas for creative expression, sometimes lower budgets, the pressures of like time, people, like all of the taking away a lot of what Hollywood has to offer allows, I think, for creative voice and to get creative voices to stretch and grow in different ways. I also think it provides for a platform for directors to experiment and try different styles of storytelling. Again, like with this one specifically, this Inception style method of adapting this felt so on point. Meanwhile, he most certainly leans into the source work by having like a narrator and just simply showing what's happening and making it more play-like, which I think is fun. I also think the brevity of short films allows for more concise and impactful narratives. Allowing it to be a little bit more potent and thought-provoking than maybe features. Of course, short films can serve as a showcase for just talent, right? Like a director can demonstrate their storytelling prowess and mastery of cinematography and directing skills, all in this like condensed format. And it being such a succinct work can catch the attention of both audiences and industry professionals. I would say opening new doors for larger projects, but I think that Wes Anderson has such a track record. I would love to know if directors feel if the truth is what we perceive it as. I would imagine that Wes Anderson can do any film that he wants, but I wonder if maybe that's not the case. Maybe he has to do an adaptation of a Roald Dahl film and has to, win at the box office before he can do something else. I don't know. I don't know. Like those are the kind of questions I would be asking. And you know what? I will be asking those questions. I think as the writer's strike lets up, and hopefully the SAG strike lets up soon. I'm also trying to really turn this into something with some interviews from filmmakers, ask them about their favorite films, ask them the films that stick in their minds the most, and hopefully be able to ask them some questions that I don't often see when I read interviews about, about their lives and their careers and everything else. So subscribe if you want to see stuff like that happening. It'll be great. Anyways, I'll stop there. And again, we'll keep this as short as the short films and say thank you for hanging out on this ride with me. It's been fun. It's been so fun. Yeah. It's been fun. We'll do it again. I don't know. I feel like I have more to say, but it's weird with these short films of like not wanting to drag on too much. So I'll end it here and we'll return to regularly scheduled required watching episodes next week. Thank you so much and come back for more. Peace.